Hello, everybody. Welcome to my presentation on HANA statement hints. We have today already heard many times about SQL Optimizer, about HANA hints. And as you know, it's a pleasure for me to be here to share with you my experiences about HANA Optimizer, HANA statement hints. As you know, mostly we should rely on Optimizer decisions, but as you know, we should generally rely on optimizer decisions. But databases grow. The SQL database queries become complex. That's why it can be that HANA Optimizer choose not always the best execution plan, and that's where statement hints come in, and we try to show SQL Optimizer or Query Optimizer the way to choose the best plan. Here, an overview about my presentations. I would like briefly introduce the company where I work. Then I will move into introduction to SAP HANA hints with some examples, with benefits, with risk, and then I will try to show you how we can determine or use SAP HANA hints, and also with some experiences, examples. Finally, I will summarize and give some references. The company where I work called AUKA Systems. Its headquarters is in Bonn. We have more than 700 experts, and we have 6 locations in Germany. To our customers are health insurance companies in Germany. We are software provider company for AOK, for AOKA, for Barma, and for some other health insurance companies. I think you have already seen how HANA Optimizer works. In the previous sessions, we have heard many things about Optimizer, about hints, and when a statement is executed, it is firstly check if we have already this statement in SQL plain cache. In SQL plain cache, if no, the statement should go through these sessions. SQL front end, as you know, it is check if the statement syntactically and semantically is correct, and then it goes to SQL Optimizer. SQL Optimizer prepares a plan, execution plans, and depending on execution engines, the statement will be generated, will be executed with the execution engines. We have some execution engines in HANA. As you know, hex agents should replace all other agents. It is important before you decide for a statement hint, you have to understand the HANA execution plan. Mostly, it is focused on execution agents, but we have also other operator properties which are important to decide which hint can be implemented, can be created. Mostly, we see an execution agent change, but sometimes execution agents is the same, but we have those runtimes. That's why it is important. It's very important to understand HANA execution plans. Yes, what are HANA hints? It is from this definition is from SAP Note. Hints are instructions for the HANA database server or other components. Hint can be created on ABAP side. Hint can be created on HANA client side. Hint can be also created on database side. Hints influence the HANA optimizer behaviors, and hints influence how a database request can be generated and can be executed. They don't change the result set of database requests. And statement hints allow to globally map to HANA to globally map SAP HANA hints to SQL statement without having adjust the application coding. Yes, why we should use hints? As I said before, HANA Optimizer chooses mostly generally the best plan, but it is also possible, like in life, it's also possible that HANA Optimizer chooses sometimes the not optimum execution plans. That's why we have to try to understand the execution plans, and if we decide to use a hint, the hints can improve query performance. The hints can reduce resource consumptions. Maybe because of some bugs, the hints can help us to avoid terminations, crashes, and as I said before, database queries become complex. Sometimes it's not easy to understand the whole statement, and sometimes it's useful to use or to test some statement hints in order to maybe to improve the statement performance. We can have better control over the query executions, and the hints can be created temporarily as workarounds or permanently. As you know, there is an SAP Note. In this SAP Note, some sub statement hints are delivered. You should check the note, and you should implement these statement hints which are coming from SAP. But we have to be careful. If you use the not the right hint, it can be possible that we have performance degradations. We should use hints only when it's necessary, and if the problem is solved, we have to prove if we still need the hints. For example, after SAP upgrades, after kernel upgrades, after HANA, mostly after HANA upgrades, SAP recommends keeping the number of hints under 100. If you have more than 100 hints, you will see a check by HANA with HANA configuration mini checks, the check number M1169. SAP delivers already some hints. As I said before, via this note, also in different SAP notes, you can see different recommendations from SAP because of some some bugs, because of some problems. The most of you know Martin Fraundhofer. He also uses some hints in his scripts. For example, ignore plain cache or some other hints. There are 4 types of hints. Most of us see mostly the execution agents, but there are also some other hints which can be implemented. There are hints that changes the execution agent's decisions, use hex plan or no use hex plan, use OLAP plan or no use OLAP plan. There are hints which changes the query transformation, like grouping simplification or no grouping simplification. There are also hints which changes operator order, like aggregation through join or no aggregation through join. There are also hints which changes preferred algorithms. Many of these hints you can see also in the hints which are delivered from SAP. How can you see which agent or which agents are used? Because HANA Optimizer can choose one or more agents for the executions. As you have seen in previous sessions, the first option is explain plan. You can look at in explain plan. You see which agents are used or were used. You can also see in some SAP scripts. As I said before, there is a script Sammlung which can help you to analyze some SAP HANA problems. The script collection from Martin Fraundhofer. You can see in explain plan which agent is used. You can see also in some other views or some other scripts. Yes, it is important to understand the execution plans before you decide to use a hit. If possible, you can compare execution plans in different systems. It is sometimes for me useful because our companies have mostly the same software. The same statements are running on the system of our companies, and mostly I can compare the execution plans on different systems of our companies. Important is we cannot compare apple with orange. The systems must be comparable. The system must be comparable, and if a system, a database too big and the other database is too small, you cannot compare the execution plans with each other. It's also important because it's also important if you have to compare bad execution plan with good execution plans. At the moment, we don't have any history of HANA executions plans. That's why if you see that a statement is running not optimal, you can document the bad execution plans. Maybe you can remove the plan ID from SQL plan cache. Maybe the statement will run better. Then you can also compare the old execution plan with the new good execution plan. Then you can decide if it is useful to implement a hit. As I said before, it is very important also to test. Is all very important to compare. If you have similar systems where the same statements are running. It is also important to see execution plan. Is also important to look at plan wish. It's also important to see dominant operator in the plan. For example, you see dominant operator in plan wish, and you can look after some dominant operator in SAP notes, and then you will see maybe we see some recommendations, some hints, some workarounds, some bugs. If you look after call stacks, maybe memory allocator, HANA traces, trace samples, which are documented in for the statement. Also, in some SAP notes, you can also see some experiences. Regarding agent change, if a statement has agent change, you can see also in the results of HANA configuration mini checks. There is a check number M1114, and you see that HANA Optimizer has decided for the statement hash for OLAP agent or for hex agent. It is easy if you see agent change, then you can also try to test some hints. But sometimes you see the same agent is still here, the same agent is still used. That's why you have to check other components. For example, it is from mini checks. You see before and after, before the statement optimizer, a query optimizer decided that choose for the statement hash column agent because of plan ID change here on this day. HANA Optimizer, query optimizer has decided to use two agents, column and OLAP agents. You see also here the difference between run times. If you have such cases, it is mostly easier to guide the optimizer which agent it shouldn't use. For example, you can use here a hit, no use OLAP agent. You should also test if it is useful to implement a hint. But you have to know with which variables you can test the statement. You can have those such variables from expensive statement bind values. You can have, maybe you can find in the result of statement hash data collector, or you can generate the statement with bind variables. You can use for that HANA SQL statement hash SQL text. Then you can choose here replace binds, or you can use also some ABAP traces. after implementing, after adding a hit, you can also compare the runtimes with different methods. For example, with some SQL scripts or with execution plans. Here you can see with statement hash diff report, you can see the runtimes before and after adding the hint. Before 17 seconds, after under 1 millisecond. As I say before, you can also test the check with execution plans. For example, you can have the plan ID of the statement hash, and then you can generate an explain plan, and then you can read from explain plan. Here we can see HANA Optimizer use, for this case, the hint no use hex plan. And such examples you can see in many different scripts or in many different tools. For example, here, after implementing the hints, you see also runtimes before adding and after adding the hint. And in the result output of the SQL statement hash data collector, you see here, for this statement, a hint is used. Also, the same example here. We have here an agent change. Before agent change, we had 0.15 milliseconds. After agent change, we had almost 3-4 milliseconds. It is almost 20 times slower. Then we have implemented a hint, and after that, the runtimes are normal. As I say before, I don't have any time, or okay. Okay. As I said before, mostly we focus on changing execution agents, but there are also other operators which play a big role in the execution plan. For example, here you see the agent is the same. We have another plan ID, but the agent is same. That's why we have to look at execution plans, and then we can test with some other hints. In this case, filter through join, and I implemented the hints no filter through join, and then the runtimes were better. Yes, it is important also to document the hints. Okay. For example, if we don't need the hints anymore, we can look after in the comment. We can find the hints easier, and we can remove them. Yes. As summary, I can say you mostly we should rely on HANA Optimizer decisions mostly, but it is also possible that HANA Optimizer chooses sometimes, not always, the right execution plans. That's why we can we can we can implement some HANA hints. The HANA hints influence optimizer behavior. The HANA hints can improve performance, is also useful for complex queries, but it's not a replacement for a good query design. Only use HANA hints if necessary after analyze, like with explain plane and plan visual on performance traces on some other traces. And after system upgrades, you should check if they are still necessary. And as I said before, you should document the HANA hints for maintainability and transparency and possible performance degradation if you use HANA hints, if you misuse HANA hints. Rock usage was performance. Some SAP notes, some SAP links, which can be helpful for this topic, and some SAP blogs or some other blogs from Jens, from other HANA experts can be useful. And then I would like to thank you that I can present, I can share my experiences with you about HANA statement hints.